That is a plug if I've ever seen it. But basically all that means is go type in that Matcherino code U. And we're just going to load on into the first game here. All right. It's a best of 9. We've got 2 fantastic StarCraft 2 legends here, and I couldn't be happier to have this match. Spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map, playing for Team Liquid, he's TaeJa. And in the bottom right-hand side of the map, it's DongRaeGu. Get hyped. Get hyped indeed. I'm personally hyped for this. It's an early one here for me. Might not have gotten enough sleep last night, but if there's some StarCraft that's gonna wake me up in the morning, it is TaeJa versus DongRaeGu. That is darn for sure. And already got Copenhagen Doss in chat saying go TaeJa. TaeJa, a very, very big Terran like champion. It's hard not to be when you win like every tournament for like months on end. But yeah, if you do enjoy these matches, just enjoy them. That's all there is. I'm excited for this one here. So, yeah. I mean, DongRaeGu, he is also kind of the Zerg champion of old as well. So we've got 2 legends here. And let me tell you, they're both looking good. They are both looking so good. I mean, I haven't seen as much of TaeJa, honestly. But, I mean, he's TaeJa, so we can just assume that. But then he also played the GSL qualifiers and everything. And DongRaeGu, I know for a fact he's looking good because he played in Africa World. And he did end up losing to Dream, but it was a close series. And Dream is on fire, by the way, qualifying for Super Tournament. So, yeah, just what should be a fantastic best of 9 here. We got an SCV moving across the map right away for TaeJa. Or not right away, I mean, moderately timed for TaeJa, which definitely can get behind this. This is basically just going to let him know the timing of the hatchery, the timing of the spawning pool. And then just basically like, oh, I don't have to worry about Lings being on my side of the map. So this SCV, I'm going to go ahead and steal some minerals. Then I'm going to go hang out at the 3rd base. And basically what this is going to do, this is going to block the hatchery for a little bit. Oh, that SCV, gotta get into blocking position because the Reaper is going to be coming across the map. And this could be a potential hatchery delay here for DongRaeGu. TaeJa's just got to buy a little bit more time. And suddenly in comes the Reaper and DongRaeGu's like, oh, I'm not getting a 3rd base today, am I? And maybe he is, though. I mean, TaeJa just charges on in with the Reaper, looking to bruise up some of the Lings. DongRaeGu can cancel that extractor and start the hatchery pretty quickly here, though. Should be doing that. TaeJa wants to try and block that, but no, he doesn't. So a bit of an interesting choice from TaeJa here, right out the gate, as he's just gonna... He could have delayed that 3rd base more. Basically by parking the Reaper there. Instead, he just decided to poke with that Reaper. And so far, he hasn't actually been able to kill anything. So good defense from DongRaeGu. The Queen's just going to start pressing out now, try and get rid of that Reaper. All the while, TaeJa going into Hellions, starting up a starport. Now, I'm willing to bet that this could be like Hellion into Banshee. Unless TaeJa's really with it, with the new meta, is going to go for something like a BC Rush, which would be fantastic, I think. And, yeah, so let's take a look here. Okay, I mean, BC Rushes themselves, that's up in the air how good they are. But it would be great if we do see TaeJa going for something like that. It's going to be like, what year is it? What timeline are we in when we've got TaeJa blinking BCs into DongRaeGu's base? And it is going to be a fusion core, so TaeJa's really with it with the new meta. And, yeah, we'll see where this game is going to go from here. DongRaeGu, he's very consistently getting his pneumatized carapace. I noticed that in the last series that I cast of him, so he's very, very just adamant on getting that scouting. Meanwhile, his Queen's gonna just shoo away these Hellions, send them packing. And this Overlord flies on over, just gonna, you know, check out this fusion core, like, oh, it's a BC rush. I've probably had this happen to me 6 times on ladder today already. So DongRaeGu, well aware of what's gonna be coming his way. Hellions moving out on the map here for TaeJa. Just gonna allow him to have that vision. The Hellions and the battle cruisers couple very nicely because of their unit dynamic. Oh, DongRaeGu, don't want to lose that Overlord for free. But yeah, they pair very nicely together because basically the BC, it's like a rock-solid force. It requires a definitive response, and the Hellions are very nimble. And the Hellions, they deal with the Lings. The BCs, they kind of make Roaches obsolete unless it's like a big Roach timing or something. In goes the Hellions for TaeJa, though, and they're actually getting caught by these Lings here, so this is a bit of a commitment here from the Terran player. Let's see, I mean, he's trying up some of the Lings, but he's not going to get, like, any more than 2 drones. So let's take a look here. Let's assess the damage. 11 lings and 2 drones for 4 Hellions. I mean, not the worst trade in the world for TaeJa, but definitely not the best. He gave up map control for a little bit, and okay, this game we're actually going to be seeing TaeJa go into mech versus DRG, and I'm excited to see some TaeJa mech. He was one of the Terrans back in the day who was like one of the bio gods. So seeing him go for mech definitely could be something unique here that we're seeing. Hellions gonna be poking on in to try and deny some creep. Gets 1 tumor. DRG just already doing a fantastic job of spreading his creep. And there I go, saying fantastic again. I'm starting to realize I have a cat. I have like a catchword. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it. We'll take a look here. Yeah, though, I mean, DongRaeGu's creep spread's really impressive. He's getting up his 4th base. Although this BC in his base is gonna be a bit of a nuisance here. Queen's gonna waddle on forward, gonna try and shoo away that BC. This one overlord. Oh, probably gonna go down. Zergs have a tendency not to care for their overlords. I'm telling you, as a Terran, if my supply depots could move, I would never lose one. Let me tell you. All jokes aside, TaeJa just continuing to push on in with his Hellions. He's actually going to be going into Cyclones behind this. There's multiple ways to go about playing the style. Basically, you can tech into Thors or something behind this. Make 1 or 2 BCs or make multiple BCs, maybe go into Liberators or something. Basically, the Cyclones in this instance, though, for TaeJa are going to be to nullify any potential Corruptors that come out of DongRaeGu. And that's because Cyclones are so good versus Corruptors. They just slaughter the things. It's not even fair to the Corruptors. It's just, oh, you're gonna die. Another battle cruiser teleports on in for TaeJa. That weaponry fit just completed on up, so it's going to be a bad day for a queen or two here, I get the feeling. In goes these BCs. Might just be trying to engage this one normally, and I think they're going to be able to get it, so that's nice for TaeJa. And now there's 2 BCs. Now TaeJa has to be careful not to lose these, but look at this. Hellions and Cyclones pushing into DongRaeGu's 4th base. The battle cruisers dumping their Yamato cannons. We see 6 Mutalisks on the way here for DongRaeGu, but 6 Mutas are not going to save his 4th base. He's keeping his 3rd base alive here, and now he's moving across the map with some of his Mutalisks. And there's actually not like any defense here for TaeJa, but the thing is, as these Mutas cross the map, battle cruisers can teleport. These things can blip on home to save the day, or at least force the Mutas out. So TaeJa has that up his sleeve. I mean, the Mutas are going to fly on in here, but look at that. BC instantly teleports home, so these Mutas, they got to act quick. Of course, they can run around the battle cruisers, try and get some damage done, and they are going to get some done. Nicely done by DongRaeGu. However, is it enough to compensate him for the loss of his 4th base? I'm not too sure. He's rebuilding his 4th. He gets 9, 10 SCVs, makes that 11. DongRaeGu is very good with Mutalisks. Oh, look at this, just picking off more and more. Of course, flying over a battle cruiser in Cyclones, he might lose one. Oh, into another BC. Having a tough time. TaeJa targets down that injured Mutalisk as well. Nicely done. Although DongRaeGu, look at this, he's still just flying around with these Mutas. 15, but there's the Yamato going down on one of them. 15 SCVs, though, for DongRaeGu. Quite a bit of damage done to the Terran. However, that wasn't a critical amount of damage done to TaeJa. He's still on 60 SCVs, a very macro-healthy Terran. And, this basically means he can kind of shrug this off in a sense, whereas DongRaeGu, what's he going to do this game? I mean, he's building up more drones, he's resecuring his 4th base, but I feel, there we go, I was just about to say, I feel like he should be taking a 5th base right around now. So he's getting up that, he's getting up his 1-1, however, TaeJa's mech army is just going to be looking very nasty. 1-1, going to be completing for the Terran here. And then when you've just got siege tanks and battle cruisers, basically, it's a nasty composition for the Zerg to try and deal with. DongRaeGu, he's got a lot of roaches, got a few Ravagers in the mix here, gonna shoot away these Hellions. Everyone that you pick off is nice, but these kind of are free for Terran. Gets the Cyclone, which is nice, trading out with these roaches and Ravagers. I don't know if that was worth it for TaeJa, it's really tough to say. That was a few Ravagers that went down. Meanwhile, DongRaeGu thinking of stepping on in. However, there's BCs, there's tanks. I think it's going to be quarter past not happening, him getting on in. Also, these Lings not going to be getting on in, that's for sure. Nice wall for TaeJa, he's going to repair that up. If DongRaeGu had some Banelings, maybe he'd be able to crash through here. No Baneling nest, though, for the Zerg. I mean, Baneling's not the best versus mech, so you really can't blame him. TaeJa getting up at 5th base, so really going to be backing and powering on up here with a very good economy. That's what he's got his sight set to. 4 battle cruisers out for TaeJa, going to require a very definitive response from DongRaeGu. It's not just the, say, 1 or 2 BCs that you can really ignore, and TaeJa's actually making more battle cruisers, so definitely an interesting unit dynamic here for TaeJa. I mean, the fact that he's still making the BCs, it's going to give him an odd number. I mean, he's going to have, like, say, 5 or 6 battle cruisers in a time here. And that's going to give you, like, enough that the Zerg really has to respond to. But then, at the same time, his ground army is going to be incredibly strong as well, because he's on, what? He's going up to, like, 8 factory production or something, which is just insane at this point in the game. We're 11 minutes into the game, and this thing's just starting to heat on up. We might need to buckle in. This could be a long one. I still feel like TaeJa's in a very good position here. DongRaeGu, though, hacking up into the Broodlords, which are very, very good. The next step for the Zerg, I feel, definitely got to be Infestors, and honestly, as far as major steps go, some static defense, because Terran Mech is all about harassment. Because in a straight-up fight, it's still pretty certain that Zerg late game is superior to Terrans if the Zerg has all the time in the world to build up a perfect army. So TaeJa, he's going for things like Hellion harassment, and these poor spine crawlers not done in time. They just have to sit there watching these drones get fried on up, and that really hurts for DRG. 16 drones going down, no small amount at all. He's finally throwing up some more static defense at these locations too. However, too little too late is the saying, as 20 drones just get melted. Now, DongRaeGu, he is still near maxed out. However, as a Zerg, you want to start building up a huge bank at this point, and that's not going to help that's not going to help DRG do that at all, losing 20 of his drones. Neural Parasite just about to be finished on up here for the Zerg, or just on the way here for the Zerg. 5 Infestors as well. I mean, there's 5 BCs out, so there's a chance that DongRaeGu could get some nasty abductions off on the Terran army. But now we take a look here, and these battle cruisers, they're just going to be able to Yamato these corruptors and teleport away like it's going to be nothing. One of these could go down. Okay, that's nice for DongRaeGu. Although his corruptors, okay, yeah, they do end up forcing the BCs back. And I want to point out that that is absolutely huge for DongRaeGu. Like, okay, it's not the hugest thing in the world. BCs, they're pretty darn big. But as far as the actual, like, as far as the situation for a Zerg goes, the difference between losing 5 corruptors for free and losing 5 corruptors for a battle cruiser, it's a lot more manageable as the Zerg. Now we take a look here. TaeJa's starting to move on out, and this mech army is looking very, very large and in charge right now. Thors, battle cruisers, Hellbats, and Cyclones crossing the map. Tanks in the mix here too. Some way DongRaeGu has to deal with this. I mean, he's got Broodlords, but it is definitely not enough to deal with this amount. He's frantically making more and more static defense, but this Terran army just seems unengageable. We've got a counterattack going down from DongRaeGu right now, but he himself is going to be taking a ton of damage. DongRaeGu, he's making more Broodlords, he's got out Infestors. There's a chance that he could get off some good spells, but I don't know if he has enough stuff to engage this army. This is just such a Terran ball here. Both players got pretty decent upgrades. Meanwhile, one of these BCs gets taken over by the Infestors there, but DongRaeGu has to be so careful not to just bleed off these Infestors. Vipers come forward, but they don't have the energy. The Broodlord is doing what they can. If a Blinding Cloud was actually here, that would have been just so pivotal in this fight right now, but I don't know if DongRaeGu can hold on. There's 1 battle cruiser in the air, a few Thors on the ground still, and that's going to be it as TaeJa crashes through and takes game number 1. Just as the sun is starting to come up here on the beautiful West Coast, we've got TaeJa taking game number 1. All right, what a crazy game. Just right out the gate there, the fact that we have TaeJa taking on DongRaeGu like it's nothing. I mean, I didn't know what form he'd be in. Okay, we'll find out what the next map is. And that's going to be DongRaeGu's pick. We're doing the losers pick format. Next map will be World of Sleepers. got them both into the game. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning on in. Let your friends know that this show match is going on, though. Like, TaeJa DongRaeGu is not something that we can just underestimate or understate how good it is. Looks like everyone's ready. And, yeah, then we'll hop on into it. Let your friends know that this is going on, though. Like, TaeJa versus DRG could not be overstated how good it is. Okay. Just waiting on DRG's confirmation. Then we will load into the next game. In the meantime, while we are loading into the game, we want to try and use all these Match Arena coupons. You can literally give these players free dollars here. And yeah, I'm talking to you who hasn't done it already. The coupon code is G17. So go ahead and enter that. I may give like a more specific promo of that quickly, but today is just all about the Starcraft, really. So yeah, go ahead and help us use those. All right, here we are, though. Loading into the next game. We've got a best of 9 underway. The first map has been decided. Can he bring it back? In the bottom left-hand side of the map, it's DRG the Zerg. And up in the top right-hand side of the map, it's Liquid TaeJa. He was looking good that game. He was looking good. And now we're gonna find out, is he able to carry it through? I'm gonna be greedy, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna say TaeJa, you make some bio. I'm not actually gonna say TaeJa, you make some bio, because that wouldn't be very proper. But in my mind right now, I'm saying TaeJa, you make some bio. I want it. I want that classic Terran versus Zerg, DongRaeGu versus TaeJa in 2019. I mean, the mech is good, though. It's great to see TaeJa using that new style, like the new age of mech. We've got battle cruisers as a solid part of the meta. Overlord gonna be crossing the map here. Normal stuff here coming out of both these players. The map is World of Sleepers. And, I mean, it's a good map. It's an interesting map, that's for sure. It kind of plays a... I mean, we actually see a bit of a variance as far as what bases you're gonna take. Like, personally, in my ladder games, I know you guys don't give a hoot about my ladder games, but personally, I've just been like, nah, that fourth base, not worth the hassle going through the minerals. And so, but maybe I should start taking that as my third. It's, like, much more defensible. I'm having some post-ladder reflection on this map, so... Let's take a look here. That sound, that little bit of clanking you might have heard, that was metallic drones popping on out. The skin set from DongRaeGu is just one of these new beautiful ones. That is some metal Zerg right now. Look at those razor blades on them drone claws. Blizzard should be paying me for how much I'm hyping up these skins. You know, TaeJa, he's got his good old Marine moving out on the map. TaeJa, oh, look at this. Look at this, greedy boy. TaeJa made a Reaper, made a Marine, and now he's making a third CC sub 3 minutes into this game. Reaper comes on in, by the way, for TaeJa, looking to nab himself up a drone, not able to successfully grab one, and oh, that Reaper, covered in butter, just makes it out of his opponent's base. And let me tell you, if you're TaeJa right now, you are very, very glad that's doing okay, because that Reaper, that's his main scouting. TaeJa now just firing up his extra Hellions. Actually delayed them because he invested in the third CC. Not a huge delay or anything, but it really shows how much of a commitment that third CC is. I mean, eventually it'll pay off, and I'm really, I mean, this is just a very, very economic play coming from TaeJa, like a super duper early command center there. Meanwhile, we've got Starport on the way, going to be making a Viking, a tech lab. We'll see what that's going to be getting used for from TaeJa. Pneumatized Carapace on the way. I do like the fact that DongRaeGu has consistently gone for Pneumatized Carapace. He's going to identify that this is a third base now. Going to see that Starport's building something. Probably want to get out of there with that Overlord. And, yeah. Hellion's just poking on in for TaeJa. I love this choice from DongRaeGu. Like, or I love this, yeah, no, I love this decision from DongRaeGu to go for Pneumatized Carapace. He just confirmed the Terran's third CC. He confirmed that the factory was lifting off so that there's going to be no more Hellions or anything really being made. So as long as he's got enough Lings to defend, like, the 4 Hellions in case they dive on in, DongRaeGu has got a license to drone, or he's just going to try and kill TaeJa here, as he does have a Baneling nest on the way. I don't think he's just going to spam Lings, but, I mean, he's making a few more. I thought they might have just been defensive Lings at first. He's going up to 16. Okay, DongRaeGu gonna put the pressure on. He's like, wait a second, this is a best of 9 and you're 3 CCing me? I'm just gonna try and kill you. And TaeJa, who's getting up a wall at his natural, is gonna be thanking his lucky stars for that. However, you still gotta worry about the Lings and the Banelings, and the fact that TaeJa's out on the map with his Hellions right now, if they get caught, it is just going to be a disaster for the Terran. And DongRaeGu, he's moving across the map with his Lings. TaeJa does have his wall up, though, but oh man, look at that. That is a lot of Banelings. Keep in mind, this isn't some super duper early Bane bust for DongRaeGu. This is off the back of 45 drones, so he's just casually making 15 Banelings. And TaeJa, who's trying to get up a wall desperately, is going to be having himself a real bad time. If he spots the Banes ahead of time, he's going to have Stimpack. He can kite his Marines back, perchance. He's going to want to try and get his Hellions back. Does he know that something iffy's going on? But, oh, look at this. DongRaeGu's going to try and crash the gates. TaeJa says, Rut-row, and he's running away. But the thing is, there's so many Banelings here. This is enough to crash the first and the second door, unless TaeJa focuses down the Banes. But no, he's not able to. More Lings and Banes coming forward. This is just too much there. DongRaeGu's going to kill TaeJa. The SCVs, it's going to be a massacre right now. The wall has been breached. The Lings are flooding on in. TaeJa, wait, is he actually going to hold? No, I thought he was done for. That was a lot of Lings and Banes. TaeJa just casually doing supply depot drops in the middle of that. The wall is down for TaeJa, but I mean, he's got to rebuild that as soon as he can. He's got the money. You got to re-wall if you're TaeJa. Re-wall at the front and try and get that one up your natural. The fact that the Hellions weren't caught and killed is huge. Meanwhile, DRG just making more Lings behind this. He is pretty darn committed to this. He's got to run away with his Lings, though. I mean, TaeJa's survived, and now DongRaeGu, very, very committed to this attack. We could be looking at a 2-0 lead here for TaeJa. He's got 3 CCs. He's going to quickly catch up in the worker count. Economically, I bet he's already ahead, or will be ahead pretty soon. I mean, he's got, like, pretty close to even workers, or did have pretty close to even workers. Oh, does DongRaeGu get this? No, not quite. Oh, if he denied the +1-1 for TaeJa, that would have been huge. But economically, like, the worker count is surging ahead for DRG, but that might just be him signing his own death certificate here. You're a Zerg. You committed to so many Lings and Banes early on. Your tech is so delayed. His 1-1 is so delayed. TaeJa already has it. And now DongRaeGu is going to have to hold on. Does he even have a lair? No, he doesn't have a lair, so he can't start Baneling speed. What's he going to make to defend versus this? TaeJa's moving out with Medivac dropped, stimmed bio. He's got the combat shield, and this is 1-1 Marines. This is going to be very, very tough for DongRaeGu to hold right now. His Queens are going to be pivotal to this defense. The Ling's just going to try and occupy that pile. If the Queens can get the Medivacs, that can help shut down this aggression. And the name of the game is all about buying time here for DongRaeGu. And you got to give it to him for trying and trying again. But 4 Banelings just fall as they try and go for a bit of a cheeky attack there. However, I mean, TaeJa wasn't really super committed or anything like that, so he had plenty of units back at home to defend. And now we take a look. The army supply, far, far ahead here for TaeJa. Well, I mean, it's like, he's got like 20% more army supply if you do the math, but 20 supply lead at this point in the game. It's going to be tough for DRG to overcome. I feel his 1-1 is about to finish up, but it's 15 seconds away, and that could be 15 seconds too much. TaeJa's just crashing toward these banelings. They are going to chase after these Marines. They are on creeps, but they don't have speed, so let's see if they can get some connections. They get all right connections, I feel. There's still a lot of Terran here, though, when everything's added up. TaeJa's setting to work on this hatchery. It's buying time, though, buying critical amounts of time. The Queen's stepping forward, and there isn't too much bio here, and one good baneling connection goes off, able to bruise up a lot of that bio. However, TaeJa's coming forward with more. He's still got that supply lead, and he's just doing the classic TaeJa rally across the map right now. This is just so classic for TaeJa. The Ling's gonna try and wrap around the Lings. The upgrades are equal now, so DRG, he's gonna be able to repel TaeJa. Believe it or not, I think if you're DRG, you gotta fire up some more Banes or something right now. As, there we go, yeah, more Banes on the way. He held the attack. He bought himself a second to breathe. And he survived after recovering his economy. He's got to survive a bit longer, though. He's going to have centrifugal hooks to his defense. He's going to get a lot easier. Good splits there in order to avoid massive Widowmine connections, which could have just been game-ending. Baneling's going off creep for DRG. A bit of a commitment. Might need to retreat. I think what DRG really needs to focus on is just consolidating to defend the next attack, and then maybe trying to get his creep spread out to give himself more of a window or something. It's tough, really, to say what he should do. I mean, TaeJa is an absolute monster at this situation of the game, and he just finished up his 2-2 upgrades, so his bio's just got a new lease on life here. And then, yeah, TaeJa's just pushing on in, looking to secure his workplace. Good Widowmine, or good Baneling connections there for DRG, and he's actually able to repel TaeJa. And look at this, he's going to be going for a massive Ling counterattack right now. TaeJa's got reinforcements, but this is a lot of Lings in the mineral line of TaeJa. Beautiful positioning there on the few Marines that he has. Actually going to get just good trading value there. DRG, meanwhile, trying to defend on this side of the map, but massive Widowmine connections go off there, and the 4th hatchery does fall for the Zerg. He's not even getting really any counter damage done with this. The Marines in that corner there just bought so much time, and DongRaeGu loses a critical hatch. Now he's got a 5th base on the way, which is going to basically become his new 4th. However, I don't know if he bought enough time or really has enough here. TaeJa's production was stifled a little bit, as the supply seems to have evened up here, which is pretty good for DRG. He's even getting out some mutas. I mean, DRG, he is holding on. He's a miracle worker right now. The fact that he's still alive in this game, getting the creep to spread out again is so important here for the Zerg player. I mean, it just buys you time. Otherwise, the Terran's just going to roll on up. So the fact that he's just even got 1 or 2 tumors going, so important. Got to spread like this tumor as well. Got to spread all the tumors. Now, DRG, he sees TaeJa's coming across the map again. And so he's got to be like, oh no, here we go. Oh, here we go again, basically. And can he hold? That's the question. I mean, TaeJa doesn't too much bio. Oh, that's a good start for DRG. Wipes all the Marines, essentially, with just a few good baneling connections, and that's all he needs. TaeJa went for a medivac drop. However, DongRaeGu, I mean, he's holding on. The supply is still in the lead for TaeJa, and TaeJa has himself a very good economy right now of getting up a 5th CC, getting up Thor production. DongRaeGu, though, I mean, I can't say his situation's worse than it was. It's getting a little bit better here. He's bought time. He's reestablished his 4th. He's got up his 5th. And then he's just making banelings here, and if you can make a round of banelings, you can clear any Terran army. Now TaeJa is coming on in. He's going to be looking to get Widowmines to buffer for himself here, and TaeJa has eaten a few nasty baneling connections, which has really allowed DongRaeGu to come back in this game. We'll see if DongRaeGu is going to be able to recreate that. He's trying to push on out with his Lings and Banes here. However, it is a nasty Widowmine field. You banelings roll on in towards TaeJa's base there, get 5 SCVs. Army supply TaeJa is definitely up. The baneling count can sort of deceive the numbers of not a good amount, not a bad amount. 22 banes, enough to take a fight for DongRaeGu, that's for sure. He's also just got up his mutas. 17 muta, listen to that. Just doing the cleanse. This is what I wanted when we had this show. That's just the classic Ling Bane muta. DongRaeGu cleaning out some of the Widowmines. Did cost him a fair few of his banelings, though. TaeJa looking to push on in, and now he's got that anchor point Thor, which is really going to help him. DongRaeGu's got to try and deal with these Widowmines. Somehow TaeJa unthrows a few of them, a few Banes roll forward. Not really getting the best trades there for DRG, and every unit matters right now for DRG. Every round of banelings that he sends forward sends him closer to holding this or sends him closer to dying. Keep in mind, the pressure has been on the Zerg player now for 13 minutes, pardon me. 40 more lings, though, on the way for DRG. Really going to give him a lot more muscle to push this back. I mean, all it takes is a good round of Banelings, but all it takes is 1 or 2 Widowmine connections. DongRaeGu, though, looking on point, just dodging those massive... that could have been a disgusting Widowmine shot, killing all of his Banelings, but his splits. DRG is quick, ladies and gentlemen, here. And we see he's queuing up another Ling counterattack. He's not just going to sit back and wait to die here, although... still, this hold's going to be very, very tough to make. He's been doing a good job so far. He hasn't had to contend with 2 Thors yet. So Lane's running forward, taking out all the Widowmines there, taking out most of their shots anyway. Does he have enough to push this back? It looks like he actually finds himself some Marauders and Marines out of the map. That goes to Zerg's way. And look at this, DongRaeGu able to repel TaeJa. The Thors unload, though. The Mutas get sent back, and oh, a drop here from TaeJa, or just a counterattack or something, is going to be able to dislodge the mining from the space. DRG will clean this up, though, no sweat. And the supply, it's starting to even on up. Both players approaching max. DRG finally finding a second to invest in an infestation pit so he can reach to higher attack. He's going to have +2 attack on his mutas, and he is getting up to 18 Banelings. Now, the thing is, a Zerg can be down on tech, but still have a killer army because of a ton of Banelings that can just wipe the Terran's force. Is DongRaeGu gonna be able to make it happen? Though he's got Banelings, they're rolling forward. That's a lot of Marauders on the front there for TaeJa. He's had good splits so far. Suddenly DRG, was that even all of his army? I think that, where's the rest of his forces? He's got 36 Banelings somewhere. Where are they, though? DongRaeGu, where's the rest of your army? Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? That's just GG. What? Where was DongRaeGu? Had 30 Banelings somewhere. Okay, let's just, can we back this up? Where was all the Zerg's Banelings? Like, DongRaeGu, you had 30 Banelings on the map. Some there, some there. Yeah, DongRaeGu fought without all of those Banelings. What? TaeJa takes game number 2 just like that. DongRaeGu, I mean, he was looking sharp there, but then makes a critical mistake at the end, or maybe he just figured, without the Banes, I'm dead anyway. Okay, so we've got a 2-0 lead for TaeJa, and in a best-of-9 or something, usually it goes the way of the person who takes the first couple of maps. So we'll see if DRG is able to bring it back. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to use that Matcherino code. We've got a fair few more of these to use. So just going to link that in the chat. This is like a god tier show match. Really enjoying these games. And they've been close games. DongRaeGu is behind most of that game, but he made a very good fight of it. Disco Bloodbath, gonna be the next map. Gonna throw to a half a second break, though. And when I say half a second, I mean about 30 seconds. Be back in a sec. Alright, we're back. Just making sure both these players are ready. Then we'll hop on into it. Fantastic series so far. Glad we've had both of these guys out to play. Just making sure everyone is here indeed before Alright, everyone says go, go, go. Nippon has joined the chat, and we have had 1 star balloon from Nonster21. Alright. Let's get into the next game here. That's what everyone's here to see, myself included. And we did make this a best of 9. I was just like, you guys want to make a few extra bucks? Make this a best of 9 because we can. It was originally going to be a best of 7. However, having these 2 guys out and not making them play at least a few more maps would be criminal. So here we are in the bottom right-hand side of the map. It's Liquid TaeJa. He's got a nice 2-0 lead. And in the top left-hand side of the map, it's DRG the Zerg. I want to say it's time for an early pool from DRG. Where is it? Where is it, DRG? Where's that 16 pool? Oh, okay. I was like, oh, when's he gonna build it? No, it's gonna be a hatchery. DongRaeGu, though, while he's down 2-0, he's looking good, and that's why I was like, we gotta have this show match. DRG's looking good. I checked out TaeJa's profile. He's like 6'4" MMR, and he's also in GM, so that means he's played enough to actually be placed into GM. So. A little bit active here and there. And we also just had it announced that the WCS Global Finals playoffs, the first round of that is going to be getting used in, or getting played in Korea. And that's really exciting for the Korean scene. I feel like if you're a Korean pro gamer and you're like, man, next year I gotta make it to BlizzCon in case they do that again. Imagine though, TaeJa plays, makes it to BlizzCon in 2020. Oh boy, that would be the dream. That's what I want. DRG too. They can all come. Let's just have a throwback BlizzCon next year. Anyone else? Top 8 WCS circuit? No thanks. Top 8 GSL? No thanks. Just give me TaeJa DRG at the WCS Global Finals. That would be a throwback. I think we'll have that one of these days. One of the old guys making it to the global finals, and I mean, Parting's close. If he has an amazing super tournament run, like a Fairy Tail super tournament run, then he'll probably make it in. Everyone's starting to come back and look good. Most of the military service is wrapping on up for these guys. TaeJa's done his. DRG, I want to say, has done his. Don't quote me on that, though. Although he retired for a few years, so I think he probably has. TaeJa's Reaper, by the way, doing some work. Using that clip, getting on in there. Bouncing some lings. Only kills 1 ling, though. And look at this. TaeJa, once again. Quick 3rd command center. Quick 3rd CC from TaeJa. Meanwhile, we've got Starport on the way after that. So yeah, just normal greedy 3rd CC. DRG though, pneumatized carapace on the way. He will know about this in good time. Now, where'd that last game really go south for DRG? When he went for that big attack, and it didn't work out. He was like, TaeJa, you're going for a 3rd CC. I'm just going to try and punish you. He threw up the baneling nest. That was a very classical play. You gotta say as well, just like the Zerg killer instinct. And I mean, Zerg killer instincts are fine, but I don't know about that, with that particular build. We see the mass migration of overlords starting to move on out for DRG. Just about to do a nice flyby on the Terran. They're gonna speed up. There we go. They hit that nitro button. One of the Overlords stops. The others are moving on out. TaeJa got a Reaper moving into the main base. Actually, no Queens or anything here, so the Lings have to react. The 2 Hellions do get pushed away, though. And, oh, does this Reaper survive? Does he? Oh, what a luck. Oh, the Queen. Oh, it's close. Reaper does escape, though. Nicely done from TaeJa. And, I want to see DongRaeGu react to this. Now that he knows it's the 3rd CC, I want to see him react to it just by droning up. Just by playing a big old macro game. I mean, that last game was fantastic. However, DongRaeGu, he set himself behind by going for that attempted main kill. Or that attempted, like, bust or whatever. Didn't really get enough damage done. This Overlord going, not able to make it though. The Viking quicker than an Overlord. +1 on the way for DongRaeGu, so we're already seeing a difference to that last game. The 1-1 upgrades, on par. As opposed to, so basically in the last game right now, DRG would have been spending all of his upgrade gas on Banelings. This game he's not doing that. He's just going to macro up. Throws up a 4th base. And we're going to be having a much more head-on battle. I mean, the last game DRG could have just droned up once he scouts that. This game he's going to elect to do that. So really going about playing against TaeJa's greedy 3rd CC a different way. And we've got TaeJa playing bio again. By the way, TaeJa killing that creep tumor without a scan. Beautifully done. Look at this. A Viking out for TaeJa. Reaper out. He's really got good map vision to make sure there's no Ling run-bys or anything. And also got a lot of units back at home too. And now we'll be heading on into that drop phase as well. Medivac's just about to pop out. And now they are going to be able to load up that bio. I'm just thinking, is Deer close to getting to the WCS Global Finals? I thought he was quite high in the standings. Maybe. It's tough to say. And he's really an old bio. All the Starcraft 2 players are old boys at this point. But like when you think TaeJa, DRG, like this series right now, you really think the old boys. And they're both looking good. So personally, I'm very excited for like the next round of GSL. Super Tournament a little bit higher. It's basically the equivalent of top 6 in GSL. In goes TaeJa's Marines. Hellions are in position though, gonna try and pry up these Lings, but oh, nice wraparound from TaeJa. From DongRaeGu, shuts that down. His spawning pool could be under fire though. This could be a painful one to lose early on. DongRaeGu gonna be able to get on top of these Lings. The Queen is trying to shoot from the low ground. They're doing okay. They will end up repelling this army. Spore Crawler repositions. TaeJa gets forced back. Army supply, pretty close. Worker supply, pretty close. DRG. Spawning pool almost dying. Kinda close. In the end, though, TaeJa didn't just go for that. I mean, DRG able to start another, though, just realizing the threat of that. 8 Banelings on the way for DRG. He's going to have centrifugal hooks in a minute. Upgrades still equal. TaeJa going for another drop into the main base. That Spore Crawler doesn't focus down the high or the low HP Medivac. It gets one of them. Is it going to get a second? Oh, not quite. This other Queen could focus down that injured Medivac. DongRaeGu needs to get his units in here, though. Spawning pool does go down in the end. Come on, Queen, get that injured Medivac. Let's see it. DongRaeGu, of course, focused on a counterattack. If you're wondering where all of his units are at, there's a ton of Widow Mines for TaeJa, though, and they're going to burrow. This could be some big connections in the end. DRG does end up repelling TaeJa, though. His counterattack gets repelled. No definitive blows coming from either of these players yet. And now DongRaeGu is going to have a much better time shutting down these Medivacs while he gets 9 mutas on the way. Also queuing up a Dropper Lord. I love the choice to go for this from the Zerg player. Just going to be, yeah, going for something a little bit cheeky. We'll see if he morphs a Baneling or two to put in that as well. Meanwhile, DongRaeGu just trying to pursue TaeJa off creep. TaeJa loads on up into his Medivacs. The mutas are out, though, so TaeJa, you got to be a lot more careful with your Medivacs now. Scan goes down, the Spire gets seen. TaeJa's like, huh, this is a classic series I'm in right now. As he's like Zerg making mutas. TaeJa just making bio, getting up a fourth planetary. I love it when players kind of have a gentleman's agreement to play like this. This is why we wanted this series. Lots of turrets going up for TaeJa. Trying to cover all of his bases now the mutas are out. Few Lings making into the main base of the Terran. but in the end, they weren't all able to get out. TaeJa had to pull the SCVs a little bit, so taking a hit on his mining. Meanwhile, Widowmine's getting connections off. The Muta's taking a few shots, and all those, how much really a lot of kills in any of them? Not really. TaeJa got himself a very significant biomass here. DongRaeGu, his creep's been pushed back a bit, so going to be losing that buffer he has. Baneling's rolling off creep, gets some good connections, cleans out a lot of the Widow Mines, and suddenly TaeJa going to be losing his foothold. DongRaeGu, Killer's Instinct, going to be pushing on out. Widow Mines getting connections off. A few of the Lings took one for the team there. And DongRaeGu, I think he'll take that trade in which he successfully repels the Terran. We've got an Infestation Pit on the way for the Zerg, a Macro Hatchery going on up. 5th base going on the way up for DongRaeGu too. TaeJa himself, though, has got up to his 4th, so his economy's looking good as well. This is essentially just a repeat of the last game. However, DongRaeGu's on even footing for the Terran from right out the gate. Look at this, TaeJa trying to repel these Mutas with missile turrets. Loses 2 of them. Missile turrets, they don't really scale as well as the Mutas do. So really all they are is glorified buffers while the SCVs run away and the Terran reacts. Now, if you're TaeJa, you got to be very, very careful. All it takes is the Zerg to push you back a bit, and then they can start picking you apart. As the Ling counterattacks, the Mutas going into your mineral lines can really turn things sour for a Terran very quickly. TaeJa, though, he is starting to build on up. I'm willing to bet he's planning another push here soon. Getting Drilling Claws, getting out of Thor. Already has one out. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 5th command center go up for TaeJa pretty quick here. If you're not going to kill the Zerg, you got to be building CCs. That's kind of the new age Terran rule. In the past, it would pretty much just be try, and kill that Zerg right away. Now Terran's a little bit more willing to macro up. TaeJa comes on in. He's going to be pushing down this ramp. A very good offensive position to siege up on this ramp. Bio, by the way, killing a lot of creep tubers. It's very, very nicely done from TaeJa. Pushing DongRaeGu back towards his 4th base. DRG looking to chase these Marauders away. Wouldn't mind siege on up for TaeJa. He's just hanging out on this disco floor. DongRaeGu with his Mutas, though, getting into TaeJa's base, and oh man, those turrets, they just go down. And suddenly we see TaeJa's main base really going to be under fire. And this could be forcing the Terran's hand right now. Widow Mines are going to siege up. Do they get connections? Oh, none of them go off. A Thor does come into the main base. That will be enough to repel DongRaeGu. TaeJa, though, he felt the pusher. He decided he needs to push. There's 27 Banelings out for the Zerg. And this is a situation which is generally considered bad for the Zerg player, or for the Terran, because your hand is forced. You feel like you need to push. However, pushing quickly into Zerg is not something that works. You've got to be slow and meticulous about it. Ensure that you get good Widowmine connections. Don't eat lots of Bane Splash. And if you're in a hurry, it's pretty hard to split versus just so many Banelings. Like an inordinate amount of Banelings. DongRaeGu planning a big counterattack. He's like, I got money. This command center, or this planetary, could be in a bit of trouble. Of course, though, this is a big chunk of the Zerg army not here to defend. Muta's coming on in. TaeJa, he's got a pretty big force here. If he can take out the Banelings, maybe he can push on in. And I mean, he's taken out a good chunk of the Banelings. That being said, though, planetary is going down to a counterattack. Banelings getting good connections on the SCVs. Nicely done there from DongRaeGu. Shuts down a good chunk of TaeJa's economy. The Mutas, though, suddenly have a lot on their hands as far as defense-wise. DongRaeGu making 118 Zerglings. Okay, he's like, I appear to have lost too many units. It is time to make a ton. And is he actually going to be able to save this hatchery? Saving that would be very, very nice. And so far, he's been able to kill that watchtower. DongRaeGu, no, he's not going to be able to save that. The hatchery does end up going down to the Marines. Another hatchery in the bottom left being taken. Hatchery in the right side is finished. TaeJa's going to set his sights on that, though. DongRaeGu doesn't have a ton of Banes. Got a ton of Lings, though. He's going to be heading towards his own 3-3. Getting up that chitinous plating as he's got up an Ultra Cavern. Oh my god, that Widowmine connection. Oh, that was disgusting. DongRaeGu had enough. He's going off creep. The Mutas are actually going to be able to push this back with the support of the Bane. Oh man, that Widowmine connection killed so many Lings there. This hatchery in the top right does end up going down too, so DongRaeGu's economy has taken a critical beating at this point. I mean, he got damage done to TaeJa, over TaeJa had spare CCs to float over, so both players taking a bit of a beating through their economy, but I think ultimately TaeJa's position is better right now. DongRaeGu's got Banelings that could be getting caught here by TaeJa. They're going to roll forward, but no, all of a sudden, those Banelings getting nothing done. That really hurts DongRaeGu's chances of holding an attack. That was a huge chunk of his defense right there. He lost, well, that must have been like 15, 20 Banelings just for nothing to TaeJa's army there. The Bile getting a very nice pick-off and trade. And speaking of trades, it's just been better for TaeJa across the board here. He's up 5,000-6,000 resources. Very classic TvZ. The Terran just tries to trade out effectively while the Zerg throws units at the Terran. Now DongRaeGu, he wants to push this army away. Few Banelings roll forward, could get some nice connections, get some alright ones. And DongRaeGu's got this one Ultra in the fray, just trying to be that critical anchor point. Muta's working away in the Thors, but there's two of them here, and there's not enough, so DRG has to run away. He's going to be having another Ultra coming out in a second. He's got Queens to transfuse this Ultra too. That cannot be undervalued. The transfuse so strong. And let's take a look. Can DongRaeGu make this hold happen? If he gets out one or two more Ultras, another round of Lings, he definitely can repel this Terran army. Supply, he's actually up on supply, equal on army supply, and he just finished up his upgrades too, so he's got that adrenal gland. His Ling's going to deal so much more damage here over time versus the Terran. And in a big fight, that's all it can take. These Lings going for a bit of a counterattack. The big fight going to happen. TaeJa's really bogged up right now, having to kind of retreat into a corner. He's losing Thors here. He's lost the backbone of his army. It's really just Marines here. The Mutas have to run away though, as there's just one or two Thor shots can kill so many. Oh, there's a Widowmine in the mix too, but DongRaeGu using extreme finesse to keep these Mutas alive for the most part. I mean, they are trading out for some Marines, and oh my god, that traitorous Widowmine just cost TaeJa so many Marines. And DongRaeGu, he may be looking to make this hold happen. He's gonna sack the base as he's busy just trying to replace his Lings. He knows TaeJa has a better army for now. He's just saying, right, abandon the base. He dealt good damage on TaeJa's side of the map. 21 SCVs have gone down to this Ling counterattack here. And TaeJa actually gonna be getting this base though, so it's a little give and take in this entire series. DongRaeGu though could be getting a nice pick off here. TaeJa doesn't have enough bio here in order to defend these medivacs, so he has to load on up and just try and get away. The Mutas, though, pursuing right now. Lings and a few Banelings pursuing. TaeJa's got his reinforcements coming on in. DongRaeGu's overcommitting on top of this, I feel, though. He's got to run away with his tail between his legs. An Ultra on the way out for DongRaeGu. A few more Lings out on the way for DongRaeGu. Both players somehow keeping an economy going. If DongRaeGu finds these mules at this base, though, that would be nice. That base is a big chunk of TaeJa's economy. Gets even one mule. Every mule is a nice pick-off here for the Zerg. And he's actually keeping the Terran back while he's planning another counterattack here. Ling's just moving on in. TaeJa has to lift his third base. And we look at TaeJa's worker count. He's down to 40. DongRaeGu with his Ling counterattack has killed off 48 SCVs this game. And I think this is going to start going DongRaeGu's way here. 83 workers, even if he doesn't have up a ton of bases to mine from. I mean, he's oversaturated on some of his locations, but he's securing another base. He's got at least one fresh base, and he's making Ultras, which are very cost efficient at a small number of units, like one or two Ultras versus a small amount of bio, or not a critical amount of bio. Very strong. I mean, there's Thors out for TaeJa. This is a nice army for TaeJa, but I just don't know if it's going to be enough here in order to push across the map and kill DRG. I don't think it's got that kind of pushing power. We'll see, though. TaeJa may be forced to try. He's going to be going for a drop to the top right-hand side. DongRaeGu, he had a dropper overlord, might have seen this. That's all it's going to take for him to identify this. His Ultra saying, right, time to mosey on over. Defend the space, and he very well is actually going to be able to keep that alive. Just knowing is half the battle. Spots that Marine drop. Losing that base would have set DongRaeGu back a fair bit. This game, though, just continuing on. Both players still got an okay economy. The concern right now for TaeJa is the fact that his supply, big chunk of it's Marines right now, and there's Ultras out. He's got 9 Widowmines into the mix, though, which can really help him out. Oh, DongRaeGu's moving forward. Oh, the Widowmine connections take out a ton of the Banelings there. That really hurts the Zerg. DongRaeGu could be losing one of these hatcheries again. I mean, might just want to cancel this one, but that decision has been made as it completes there. No more cancel available. DongRaeGu wants to try and push his Terran army back. He's still down on supply here. Mutas. I mean, DongRaeGu could kill this cooling tower, but I figure that might benefit TaeJa more. Ling counterattack from DongRaeGu once again. TaeJa does manage to repel it, though. Thors and Marines also at this critical planetary here just to ensure that it stays alive. And Ultra's still in forward, trying to take out some of the Widow Mines there. The rest of the Zerg's going to move forward. Off creep, it's a risky move for DRG. He's got Banelings and Ultras in the mix, though. Trying to repel TaeJa, though. The Ultras are forcing the Marines back, and there's not enough firepower here for the Terran to really take down the Ultras. The Widow Mines might change that, though. Oh, the connections could be huge. The Ultras really getting softened up by them, and DRG's Mutilus count falls. He's trying to play the game of his life here, as it's just so close between these two pro gamers here. And we look at this, can DongRaeGu hold on? There's no queens to transfuse these Ultras, so actually one queen comes forward. There we go. That's gonna be actually so pivotal in the defense right now for DongRaeGu, healing up these Ultras. These are 3 fresh Ultras he's just got. This really makes it look a lot better for the Zerg. The Mutas can try and repel this bit of bio here. DongRaeGu, goes off creep with his Ultras, eats a Widow Mine shot or 2, but the Queen's gonna transfuse. They've got lots of energy here. Could we see more transfuse to keep these Ultras going? No transfuse on one of those Ultras. It falls, and the Ultras actually get locked out there, and suddenly DongRaeGu's lost most of his army, and GG, TaeJa takes it. After an incredibly close game number 3, DongRaeGu just not able to make it happen. TaeJa manages to close it out again. My heart weeps for DRG a little bit, as these have been close games between these two players. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning on in. I hope you're enjoying these games. TaeJa versus DongRaeGu, an epic show match here on AfreecaTV. And now let's take a look. We'll find out what the next map is. Triton is DongRaeGu's pick, and I mean, I'm loving this series, man. Like, I kind of hope DongRaeGu would take that map just so TaeJa wouldn't be cruising towards a 5-0 or anything, but just so we'd get more games, basically. But, oh man, the games themselves are really delivering here. So we'll get everyone on into the lobby. Then we'll hop into the next game. As usual, though, make sure to use that Matcherino codes, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, it gives the players dollars for free. You just log on in with your account, type in the code G17, and we'll make sure everyone's ready. Then we'll get on into the next game here. We will get DRG into the lobby. That's an important step. Man, these are some good games. There's also more Starcraft 2 going on as well. All over the place. It's great to see. Just waiting on DRG to get into the lobby. Everyone's ready. Let your friends know that this show match is going on. We've still got at least this map and one other here, even if somehow TaeJa takes the 5-0. I really didn't expect it, DRG. Every game he shows, though, it looks good. His skill overall is incredibly good still, I feel. And it's not like those games have been washes. That was so close, but it always just comes down to those little fights, and TaeJa made his career off those little fights too, keep in mind. So here we are into the next match. Spawning up the top left-hand side of the map, it's DongRaeGu. I do not read Korean, unfortunately. And in the bottom right-hand side of the map, it's Liquid TaeJa. I hope you guys are enjoying this match. Let's see, Hatchery gonna move down for DongRaeGu. Hasn't resorted to the early pool yet. I don't read Korean. Does anyone here speak both languages? Learning Korean definitely has been on my list of things to do. I feel as if it would be really great. However, unfortunately, there's no actual courses where I live. Like, I've looked. I'd have to drive 2 hours for a course. I could always do it online too, but I feel like learning in person and having an actual course to attend would help me really stick with it. I mean, That was such a good series from DongRaeGu, but that was definitely a Zerg map right there. That big map spread out, and TaeJa was still able to make that final push happen, and it was so close. Like, maybe DongRaeGu should have just retreated or something. The gameplay and the level from both these guys, it remains unchanged by time, though. Like, the TvZ they're showing is just fantastic. DongRaeGu, like, he's playing so well, I feel. It's just not really coming together for him. TaeJa going to be moving out towards the third base, with this SCV going to be a pain while the Reaper crosses the map. DongRaeGu, regrettably, going to have to morph this drone into an extractor. Gotta be careful if you're the Zerg, though. There's a chance the SCV can block the refinery. Yeah, look at that. TaeJa gonna try and kill this SCV. DongRaeGu gonna lose the drone. No, he saves it. He saves it. Nicely done there from our Zerg. Lings taking out their anger on these destructible plates. Unbuildable plates, pardon me, not destructible. Poor drone having to undergo body transformation again and again as he keeps himself alive. DRG should be able to get up that third base now that TaeJa has sent the SCV away. Now here's a question for Zerg. If you put your Lings on hold position, it doesn't actually block the Reaper jumping up, does it? Like, say you put a Ling here and a Ling here, and maybe one more Ling there. It doesn't physically block the Reaper jumping up. That's something I don't actually know as a Terran. So I'm wondering if Zergs could just park their Lings there to prevent that. TaeJa comes on in with his Reaper, gets a creep tumor, which is nice. DongRaeGu's creep spread has been no joke this series. So getting an early licking against it is nice. TaeJa changing it up as well, going for a fusion core. Could be playing the mech this time around. He's done 2 games of Bio, and they were fantastic games. Wonderful games, amazing games. I needed a Thoris. That's what I need when I'm casting. Overlord flies on in here for DRG. Gonna identify the fact that it is a good old BC rush. If you're the Zerg, you just gotta make the defense happen. Usually it involves a lot of queens. Meanwhile, the third CC gets identified. Maybe we need to see DongRaeGu go for like a Nidus or something. Queen's gonna be trying to push these Hellions back. The Hellions, though, I mean, softening up the Queens. The battlecruiser is on the way, and we do see a Roach Warren from the Zerg player. There's no lair or anything, but there is a Roach Warren. I mean, I know Roach attacks can be very strong versus a Zerg, but usually it is coupled with a Nidus. A lair is on the way, and this could very well just be for safety versus like Hellbats and things. As DongRaeGu doesn't actually have a lot on the ground. He's got 12 Lings and 7 Queens. These Hellions, they could really put a hurt in here on the Zerg. If the Zerg's not ready to deal with this, this could be one of those nasty 1-2 punches. DRG is trying to push out his creep right now, but eventually there's going to be a BC blipping into his base. Those Queens. There's one in the main. 4 crawlers are starting. 2 Queens at the third. Where's that BC? It's going to be blipping across the map. Where's he going? Lock on to follow. BC. There he goes. Across the map into the main base of the Zerg there. We experienced the blink with that battlecruiser. The lair is on the way. The Queens are trying to soften this up. This one poor lady, though, she's really out of position. Her friends come forward. The transfuse goes down, keeping her alive. Is there another transfuse, though? No, there is not. I mean, DongRaeGu loses 1 Queen. Potentially going to lose an Overlord, too. You want to get those moving if you're the Zerg. You can keep them alive. Overlord's just quicker than the battlecruisers, so if you move them ahead of time, they can escape. Queen's moving forward, gonna try and soften up this battlecruiser. If he gets it, wait a second, this BC could be overcommitted. If those Queens keep pursuing, it could go down. Oh, this is gonna be close. Oh, TaeJa does escape with it though. Yeah, no high ground vision for the Queens. TaeJa, by the way, comes on in with his Hellions. Creep, though. It's encroaching that halfway mark on the map right now. When the Xelnog is covered in creep, that's how you know it's a good day for the Zerg. Overlord pops on in, confirms it's a mech follow-up too. Meanwhile, another battle cruiser teleports on into that Zerg base. The BC is going to do as much damage as it can. Yamato will also be finishing up soon. 7 queens still out for DongRaeGu. There is Transfuse, though, going to keep those alive. The Yamato cannon's going to get used to those queens. Gonna take a guaranteed casualty. That's just the nature of the game when a Terran has battle cruisers. Feel like this game's going a lot better for DongRaeGu. It could be getting a lot worse, though, as these Hellions charging on in. Good reaction, though, from the Zerg. And DRG looking to get himself a counterattack. Gonna actually, does he get a kill? Okay, TaeJa on point, though. Gets a cancel on that 4th base. The reaction from the Zerg player was instant, or from TaeJa was instantaneous. Oh, that's actually a kill, though. Ling's now getting a wraparound on the Hellions, getting a few Cyclones as well. Nice trade there for DRG. He doesn't get a lot of SCVs, but he got a kill on a 4th command center. And at this point, it's not like TaeJa has tons and tons of cash to spend. He's been investing in battle cruisers and tanks, upgrades, expensive units across the board. Roach is looking to move on in for the Zerg. The tanks out should be enough to send this packing, though. DongRaeGu might have a little bit of leeway in focus fraud, though. Roach's trade now with Hellions. Generally a good trade for the Zerg here. Battle cruisers do come back, though. But the BCs are enough to push away the Roaches, believe it or not. So I like this game a lot more for DRG than game number 1. Hasn't really taken a lot of damage. Got a little bit of a lickin'. Delayed the 4th base, forced it to build off location, and got a kill on one. Not bad at all. These Roaches are going to have a bit of a bad time as these BCs coming in. The Corruptors are out, though. Going to set to work on these BCs. That one's going to be close to going down. The teleport does happen, though. Sometimes it's a little close. A battle cruiser can't teleport when it's Yamatoing, so it's a bit of a gamble to use the Yamato on an injured battle cruiser sometimes, but TaeJa does get out that time. DRG loses 2 Corruptors for free. And in goes another Hellion attack. Now, this is a 4th base up for the Zerg. He's going to have to react, get some units out in order to block this. 3 Hellions charging on in towards the natural. I mean, there's units on their tail, though they aren't going to get too much done. DongRaeGu making more Corruptors, teching up into a Greater Spire. And I mean, we take a look here. There's not a lot of anti-air for TaeJa. If DongRaeGu successfully hits this Greater Spire and lives, TaeJa's going to be in a bit of a tough spot. There's going to be Broodlords, but really no answer to the Broodlords and Corruptors, because there's going to be plenty of Corruptors in order to just chase away the BCs. And if DongRaeGu just goes hard on the air, TaeJa has very minimal anti-air. Roach drop in the main base also got 8 SCVs. Ling's at the 4th base being a pain. This game is looking a lot better for DongRaeGu. You really got to give it to him. He's not just rolling over and dying because he's been losing maps in this series. Every game has been as close as the last. And let's take a look. DongRaeGu gonna have this Greater Spire finished up. Now TaeJa starts up a Thor. However, it's just that. It's 1 Thor. So it's gonna be 1 Thor and 5 Cyclones out for the anti-air. I mean, there's going to be battle cruisers out, but if DongRaeGu just makes Corruptors as the Z, I feel like there's not a lot that TaeJa is going to be able to do to shut these down easily. There we go. More Thors on the way for TaeJa, which are so important. Is it enough, though? I feel like this is still looking okay for the Zerg player. 5 drones, 6 drones going down. The Hellions do get picked off, though. If you're DRG, it's probably time to build some static defense. Few spine crawlers here and there, in order to prevent these Hellion run-bys from continuously bullying you. The Broodlords are done, though, for the Zerg. They're maybe going to start crossing the map. 9 more Corruptors on the way. The importance of this can't be overstated. If you've got enough Corruptors to shut down the BCs, you're just laughing as the Zerg. Yamato cannon is going to be used on the Corruptors, but that means it's not going to be able to be used on the battle cruisers to aid the Thors in the fight. And believe it or not, it's all about the dynamic of how you use your Yamato cannon that really dictates these fights. And suddenly, Broodlord's crossing the map. TaeJa's going to be saying, uh-oh, I got nothing. I got SWAT to deal with these, really. There's 3 Thors out now, 2 more on the way, but the BCs have already used their tactical jump. They've already dumped most of their Yamato cannon. And I don't think TaeJa can do this, so he's going to be losing his 3rd base potentially here. And once that goes down, it's really forcing TaeJa to go for a counterattack. I mean, one spine crawler is on the way for DongRaeGu, but that's not going to save this base, so he's going into full-on base trade mode right now as TaeJa. Let's see, though, I mean, the Zerg. Oh, the battle cruiser is undefended right now. Thors and BCs coming forward. Ducks go down on the BCs, though. Do they have teleport to get away? These +1 BCs pretty tanky, though, but look at this. The Corruptors don't care. They fly on over, they pick one of them off. Another stays alive. Very lucky battle cruiser. TaeJa now coming on in with his tanks and Hellions. He's actually getting a good amount of damage done to the Zerg player right now. DongRaeGu has actually been successfully counterattacked here by the Terran. I mean, Lings are coming on in, but it's really just the Broodlords that'll be enough to dislodge this Terran force. And the Broodlords, so slow. So slow. They've just got to come on in to deal with these tanks, but this is just getting so much damage done by TaeJa. Oh yeah, DongRaeGu losing so much here. His Greater Spire could be under threat. He's going to be losing hatcheries. He's lost 37 drones. In comes a Thor, just to be a pain here. Just this one Thor, the one ballsy guy just walking forward. Three more Thors coming on in as Thor friends. So this attack will be cleaned on up here, but man, that cost DongRaeGu a lot. That being said, though, DongRaeGu, I mean, he's still got out Broodlords. He's still got out a good Corruptor count at 17. But the damage that was done by TaeJa there did not amount to the damage that was received. I mean, TaeJa, he's got up a 4th base now. He's building another command center. And now he's starting to go into a lot of starports. As the Terran player, you figure, right, I did enough damage to the Zerg. Can he really afford to engage in an air battle with me? TaeJa's going to try his luck, making an extra starport here. We'll see if he makes a few more, perhaps. He's going into ship weapons, so it's going to be a pretty serious transition here. Probably wants to build another 1 or 2 here. DongRaeGu trying to secure up this base here. However, he had that base and it died to a counterattack. And you really got to respect the Terran counterattacks as a Zerg. But DongRaeGu, he really just kind of got caught off guard by that. And was not in position to deal with it. If you have a few Roaches and Ravagers, they're very good at buying time. But oh, look at this. Hellions coming on in. 10 drones go down. Units DongRaeGu cannot afford to replace at this time. Oh, and there we go. Hellions coming on in once again to another base. TaeJa hitting every base. These Roaches and Ravagers got to get there to defend versus this, but 16 drones going down, no small amount. Really big ouch for DongRaeGu. And TaeJa, while it was looking dicey for a minute, really managed to make a nice move and potentially bring this game back. We look at the Thor count, it's just outlandish. He's got 10 Thors, double-digit Thors. Generally feels good as a Terran versus a Zerg who's not as well established as he needs to be. Now, these Roaches and Ravagers moving on in for DongRaeGu, going to be trying to get a counterattack off. However, they're quite committed right now. I mean, there's BCs and Thors looking to intercept right now. And I don't think this is going to go too well for the Roaches and Ravagers. The one Cyclone is going to be trying to do what it can. He's maybe going to go down these Thors. Pushing across the map now. DongRaeGu, he bought himself a little bit of time, but I think TaeJa, he's going to be looking to kill his opponent. If you're DRG right now, I think you got to just be making, like, Roaches and Ravagers, right? Like, Ravagers Corrosive Bile is actually really good versus slow Thors. There's no tanks. Roaches are on the way. There's even Vipers out now for DongRaeGu, which are really going to help him out. I mean, he's still got the 6 Broodlords, but they're not enough to deal with the Thors, so it's really going to all be about the Corrosive Biles. There's going to be Transfuse here, but it's not going to be enough. There's simply not enough Broodlords here for DongRaeGu. I mean, Broods generally considered good against Thors. The Blinding Clouds are very good. The Corruptors are moving forward. However, what's there going to be to deal with the Thors on the ground once this is all said and done? And the answer is not a lot right now. DongRaeGu's army starting to wear thin on the ground. The battle cruisers have all been dealt with, but on the ground, it's not enough. TaeJa takes the 4-0 lead in this series. If this had been the original best of 7, DongRaeGu would be done. But we've got one more map in the tank. Africa World has it, or the Games Invitational has its fair share of 5-0s, but this series has really delivered. The one thing that we can count on with the modern DongRaeGu, it's going to be a good series. We'll see. Can DongRaeGu bring it back? Like, every game looks good. And while we haven't seen DongRaeGu win too much since he was back, every game he's played has looked good that I've seen. And that's why I'm worried, in a sense. That, like, DongRaeGu, like, while he's so good and he could have the good results, I'm worried that he's going to be like, oh, I'm not winning anything. I'm going to pack it on in. I gave it another run at being a pro gamer. That's not the case at all, though. We see a few more of those coupon codes being used. We've got quite a few more. If I do a Control F, search for coupon, we've got like 28 more coupon codes to use, ladies and gentlemen. So help us use those up. Would be great to see. Simply go to that URL linked in chat, type login, type in the code G17 under contribute. That'll help us use that up. Ephemeron's gonna be the next map, and potentially final map. I don't want it to be the final one. Maybe it's time for the... Let's see the reverse sweep. Let's go to map number 9. I may have woken up at 6 a.m. to cast this. Not getting enough sleep. But I am loving this series. Alright. Looks like everyone's ready. We're gonna load on in. And also, if you enjoy this and you want to like look at the replays of TaeJa DRG, the replays are up for grabs on the Matcherino too. So you can check that out. It's like $5 for the replays. The money goes to the players, not to me. I actually put up a few of my own dollars to make this a best of 9. Now, this is our one bonus map here. Or, I mean, this could give new lease on the series. This man needs to turn it around. Spawning in the bottom right-hand side of the map, it's DongRaeGu. He tries every game, no matter his position. Like, some players, honestly, after going down like 3-0, or even 2-0, would just be like, well, I've probably lost this series. DongRaeGu, though, every game is close. And up in the top left-hand side of the map, he's looking incredible once again. It's Liquid TaeJa. I'm already thinking about the next Africa World that I want to do, and I think if these two want to come out and play, we'll probably have them. Speaking of Africa World, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be on tomorrow in the evening at around, or no, it's an early one. It's 9 a.m. So it's going to be very late for you Korean viewers, but if you're from North America or Europe, the time may even be a little bit better. Now this guy, he's got a hill to climb though. How does DongRaeGu do it? Like, I feel like if he had like a solid Nidus build or something, he'd be able to take a game off TaeJa easily. But I don't think he practices that style. He just practices playing straight up Zerg, and that's why we see him being so good with it. But then there's TaeJa, who's probably the most, I'm gonna say it, the most naturally talented like bio player that there is. I mean, as far as his current skill goes, that's up for debate. But as far as like natural raw talent, like if every player stopped playing Starcraft 2 for 5 years or whatever, then they all came back, I feel like TaeJa would be the one who'd be best playing with bio still. He just got so good at it, his skill in it is never going to wane, I feel. Command center on the way for TaeJa. He's SCV scouted every game so far, in order to ensure that there's no early pool, or 16 pool or anything like that. Ling's gonna try and push this Reaper away. Gotta wait for their queen to appear. Oh, drone taking a bit of a beating. Queen gotta transfuse before sending that Reaper packing. This queen's gonna be dropping a tumor, but DRG has to make sure to defend that. Oh, TaeJa wants that tumor big time. Is he gonna get it? Oh, not quite. Good defense there from DongRaeGu, keeping that tumor alive. Oh man, losing that first tumor really kills the morale of your Zerg, so DongRaeGu keeping that and keeping the dream alive. Now, trying to get up his 4th base, he's got to waddle this queen over here. DongRaeGu's like, come on. Or his 3rd base. DongRaeGu's like, come on, just let me build it. I want it. Should be able to build it up now. That Reaper not going to be able to get that. TaeJa going for Hellions, going for a starport this game. Third CC already on the way, though. So TaeJa going greedy, greedy, greedy again. And, oh, DRG changing it up a bit. You know how he was spending his gas on pneumatized carapace every game? This time he's going for a lair. So changing it up a bit. What's this one going to be for? And TaeJa's gone for a third CC. So if it's something aggressive here from DongRaeGu, it could definitely work out, I feel. There's no Roach Warren or anything on the way, though. And oh, TaeJa tries to get in with his Reaper, but no scout from TaeJa. So he doesn't know, and I don't know what this lair is going to be used for. There's no Evos or anything. So it's not like DongRaeGu's just going for like a macro or anything normal. Is this just going to be for like a super quick Spire or something? 5 Overlords are on the way. What's this lair for? DRG, tell us your secrets. A Nidus. Okay, is it just going to be Queen Ling Nidus? It's got to be, right? Because there's no Roach Warren. A very, very interesting play here from the Zerg. There we go, 10 Lings on the way. More Queens building. These Queens going to want to try and push out. Oh, DongRaeGu, you don't want to be losing your Lings early on. TaeJa has got Hellions out, but he doesn't have a lot that's going to stand up to a ton of Lings. I feel like DongRaeGu needs to be making more and more Lings, though. There we go, 16 on the way. This has got to be a full-on flood if you're going to make this push happen. And Overseer, pardon me, inching his way over towards the base of TaeJa. And if that Nidus gets on in, it's going to be very, very tough for this Terran player to defend this. Now, there is Marines out for TaeJa, though. There's going to be 5 Marines. Is that enough to kill a Nidus? I honestly have no idea. They're very, very strong. A tank is getting up for TaeJa, though. The Queens, the Ling's going to try and break into the natural, but that's not going to happen. This Nidus doesn't get up. Oh, man, that is huge. Huge for TaeJa. A Nidus being called on in at the front. DongRaeGu is going to try and break this at the front. The thing is about the Nidus, there's always a chance, but you got to call in multiple. And if this Overseer goes down, oh, it's going to be disastrous. DongRaeGu, this is it for his Nidus. He's got to make this attack work. Queen's spilling forward out of the front there. TaeJa's just going to bunker up, though, at the main. And if you're DongRaeGu, I think you got to say, well, I tried. Got to start droning on up. He's actually going to try and break the front, but with no more Overseers to give himself high ground vision, it's going to be nigh on impossible for DongRaeGu to break this. He's just got to say, well, sorry, load back into his Nidus, or get another Overseer or something across the map for another Nidus, because if he had another Overseer, you Nidus the main base. You're popping back and forth, but it's just not going to happen. There is not a chance that DongRaeGu can break this wall. TaeJa has held this rush, and I think TaeJa is going to be taking the 5-0 versus DongRaeGu. You got to give it to DongRaeGu for trying, but TaeJa's defense versus is on point. Maybe we see why he hasn't tried this yet before. The amount of Queens that DongRaeGu has is something. The transfuse is never ending. The Queens just eating tank shots for breakfast, but no high ground vision. TaeJa's going to push out with his Marines. There's just not enough Zerg here. Although, is there? I mean, the Lings suddenly have an in. They're getting on top of TaeJa's army. Is this going to be enough for DongRaeGu to break it? The answer is a resounding no, as TaeJa has held this rush. TaeJa has taken the 5-0 versus DongRaeGu. There's not a doubt in my mind. The ... the GG, the 5-0, well played, as TaeJa is the player to advance. All right. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning on in. You got to give it to DongRaeGu for trying, though, and you can't blame him for being like, all right, final game. Hail Mary, let's Nidus it. And I feel like maybe he probably just doesn't practice Niduses that much. The one Overseer, like if you have another Overlord or something, I feel like maybe it happens, but in the end, well played by TaeJa. GG's in chat. Now, if you enjoyed this, make sure to leave that, leave a favorite on the stream. You can, of course, check me out everywhere on Twitter, on YouTube. Post a lot of Starcraft 2 on my YouTube, of course. And yeah, so if you're watching this, leave a favorite, leave a like, follow the channels and whatnot. And yeah, this was a fantastic show match. I mean, 5-0s kind of are the nature of these online events, it seems a lot of the time. However, I mean, DongRaeGu showed wonderful games. And before I leave you, just going to say, help us use that Matcherino code. Just going to link that in the chat there. G17 is the code. We want to use all those before we send the payout to the player. So I'm actually just gonna pull that up for a second here, and I'll show you. I will show you how to use the coupon code. So what you do is you go to Match Arena. The link is here. Then basically you just go to sign on in. Pick one of your options, Battle.net, because you probably play Starcraft 2. Seems to be a good choice. Press contribute. Type in coupon code G17. Games Invitational number 17. And yeah, thanks so much to everyone for tuning on in. Hope you had a wonderful, wonderful stream. There's a lot of Starcraft 2 going on. And make sure to tune in tomorrow for Africa World. It's going to be 9 a.m. Pacific. That'll be some good Starcraft 2 as well. It's got Gung Fu Banda, Hate Me, Insane, and a Laser. So a lot of new faces. And I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye now.